welcome back to Phenomena. This is season 4, episode 4. So, 4-4, look at that. I'm your host, Mimi Dibbs. Yes, remembered that time. And this week's episode is written by our lovely co-producer, Ruben Hano. Yay, Ruben! So yeah, a little bit of a switch up because we had originally had the Wendigo and other such Wendigo-y things scheduled for today, but we needed a little bit more time to review the script, so we ended up kind of switching some of the episodes. So today's episode is actually going to be about the Somerton Man, which, who is he? Why? What is Somerton? Somerton. So, Somerton, I think is how you say it. This is also one that kept coming up as I was kind of researching lists of phenomena that I wanted to cover. So I'm like, what's this? We should probably dig into it. Right? Let's do it. I wonder if it has to do with, like, ghosts. What do you guys think? Put in the comments what you think the Somerton Man is, if you don't know who it is or what his deal is. If you do, then shh, let everyone else guess. My guess is that he's a ghost. So let's see if I'm right. Imagine this. It's 1948. The world is still shaking off World War II. World War II? Again? Why is World War II following me? Why? What happened after World War II where everyone was like, oh, a bunch of phenomena started? And on a quiet beach in Adelaide, Australia. Again, Australia. Something's happening with the UK and Australia, because I don't understand why everything keeps happening in Australia. A man's body is found slumped against a seawall. I love this already. I'm a huge fan of true crime. If you've watched any other Phenomena episodes, you've probably seen me say that I am a huge fan of true crime, but my two co-producers, Ruben and Jodelle, are not so much fans as much as I am. This feels to me like it's a little true crimey because it's about a man's body that was slumped against a seawall. What does that even mean? What happened? How did he get there? Foul play, perhaps? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the last, true crimey episode we've had was the Dyatlov Pass. So I'm feeding for some true crime. Let's go. Nobody knows who he is, how he got there, or why he died. No ID, no wallet, nothing to tell the world his name. What? I feel like this is I guess that's why he's known as the Somerton Man. This reminds me of that woman who was found laying face down on the beach or whatever. And she also I don't know if she was ever identified, but that's it's giving the same vibes. And also DB Cooper. I think we have him on the list of, well, maybe not. But DB Cooper is another situation where I guess it's not really a phenomenon because we already really kind of know what happens. But this guy named DB Cooper, which wasn't his actual name, no one knows what his name was, but he basically hijacked an airplane and asked for a bunch of money. And then he jumped off the plane and was never found again. So who's DB Cooper? Maybe he's the Somerton Man. Maybe they're one and the same. Who knows? He's well dressed in a pressed suit, polished shoes, and a tie, like he's just stepped out for a night on the town. Ooh, but his pockets empty of anything useful. Maybe some lint, perhaps? And his death suspicious from the very start. Yes, was he wet? Because he was found slumped against a sea wall? I would assume the waves would make him wet. No? This case would go on to become one of Australia's most baffling cold cases. Some say he was a spy. Ooh, not the spy. Others claim he was poisoned by a mysterious lover. You know what? Wait, I feel like BuzzFeed Unsolved has covered this. This sounds familiar now that I'm reading the whole maybe he was a spy thing. Because I swear BuzzFeed Unsolved definitely has covered something similar to this. I don't know if it's actually the Somerton Man. That's crazy. I love that I might potentially be covering the same case as one covered on BuzzFeed Unsolved. Wow, my idols. Others claim he was poisoned by a mysterious lover. And still others, well, they go full X-Files with it. Ooh, yeah, because this happened right after World War II, 1948. So I was thinking internet sleuths, but obviously internet sleuths are probably still trying to uncover who the Somerton Man was and what his deal was. But I do wonder if during 1948 what people went full X-Files, were they requesting documents from the police and being release the records and so that we can read them because we can't access them online, or I wonder how much people really went into it. How did they go full X-Files with it in 1948? Curious. Today, we're diving into the strange saga of the Somerton Man, a mystery that has haunted investigators, conspiracy theorists, and the public for more than 70 years. We still don't know who this man is. That's wild. His whole thing is a phenomenon. Because, like, what? And we still don't know? We're not any closer to finding out? Was it foul play? Is anyone else to be blamed for this? Well, we'll definitely find out as we read through, but quick pause for Phenomannouncements. So this week for the Phenomannouncement, I wanted to shout out this very cute bookstore in Seattle called Lovestruck in Seattle. It's a romance bookstore and gift shop. I myself am not big into romance novels. I know they're a very big genre. I have a lot of friends who like them. I actually got one of my friends this bookmark. I haven't given it to her yet, so... And I don't watch this, but the bookmark has like Jesus kind of going like this and it goes, is that smut? It's fantastic. I still have to give it to her. But lots of people, I'm not to equate smut with romance. I feel like I'm just digging myself into a hole here, but I feel like it's a very big popular genre that clearly a lot of people enjoy reading. I myself, I much prefer true crime books or like memoirs of like people that have left cults. That's super fascinating to me. I've read a lot of books about sociopaths and psychopaths. And yeah, I like weird books. I really like true crime stuff. So I don't know. There's something about romance novels or books that I personally can't get into. But I wanted to just because I don't know that I would potentially find a book there, that doesn't mean other people can't know about them. And I'm sure, like, from what I've read on their Instagram, which is Lovestruck in Seattle, I think. I'll make sure. Yes, it's at Lovestruck in Seattle. And from what I've read, people love them. They are first like brick and mortar bookstore, romance bookstore that has opened up in Seattle. And people seem to like really love their stuff. And it's very, very cute. And I'm all for a little bookstore. So I wanted to call it out because we could all use a little bit more love. And especially if you're in Seattle, go check it out because it seems like a really awesome place to just like pick out a book and vibe. I don't know that they call themselves a romance bookstore, but I don't know if that's all they sell. So definitely check them out. Lovestruck in Seattle. Cool. Without further ado, let's get into the Somerton Man's lore. The lore. All right. The Somerton Man's body was found early on the morning of December 1st, 1948, at Somerton Park Beach. Oh, that's why he was called the Somerton Man. Oh, man. To be just like remembered as like the Griffith Park guy, like it's just very like, it feels so not personal, but I guess they couldn't find anything else about him. So witnesses had actually seen the man the night before, lying in the same position, slumped against the seawall, raising an arm weakly before going still. Poison. That's I'm going to throw my theory in the ring. Poison. I think it's poison. I don't know why, or maybe he was drugged, but that seems like a drugged/poison thing to do. So that's my theory right now. When police examined him, they noticed odd details right away. No ID or labels on his clothes. The tags had been cut out. Okay, I swear, I do think this was covered on BuzzFeed Unsolved, because I swear I remember this whole, like, the tags have been cut out thing. And, like, maybe he really didn't like itchy tags, and that's relatable, so I understand that part. But also, it's like, no ID, no labels on his clothes, like, that's a very spy thing to have. I don't know. Either BuzzFeed Unsolved covered the Somerton Man, or they covered like a woman. I think there's like a Carmen Sandiego-esque woman that also had a similar demise where like she didn't have tags on her clothes. But that like rings a bell to me. So, okay. Tags have been cut out. His pupils were unusually small. Ooh, that happens with like morphine and narcotics, I think. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Things like depressants, I think, makes your pupils go small. So, drugged, see? That might make sense. His calf muscles were noticeably well developed, almost like a dancer's or a bicyclist. His toes were wedge-shaped, suggesting he wore narrow shoes or high heels. Cue people whispering, ballet dancer or drag queen, or maybe an alien. Ooh, or all three. Alien, drag queen who does ballet. Boom. I think we just solved the Somerton Man, guys. I think that's who it is. Because, I mean, people can be whatever they want. I mean, maybe I could, this totally, like, wouldn't have been accepted in 1948 of all times. But that's very interesting. His toes were wedge-shaped. To be honest, when I first read that, I thought like ballet shoes or like, something that would make the toes come together. What I'm saying is we're going to have to see foot pics. We're going to have to see foot pics. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That's part of the investigative work, fellas. Give me the feet pics. I got to see the feet. That's it. This is for science. All right? Okay? A strange dribble of saliva at his mouth. Okay, again, this is like giving poison. The autopsy only deepened the mystery. His spleen was 3 times its normal size. Don't know what does that. His liver was swollen with blood. I hate it. But also poison, perhaps. Doctors suspected poison. Guys, Am I a woman in STEM? Was I a woman in STEM in my past life? And then I just like didn't retain as many brain cells in this life, so I couldn't, be a doctor anymore, but who knows? Well, possibly a rare type that left no trace. But chemical tests came out blank. As they came back, but came up blank. No poison detected. Official cause of death? Unknown. Like the Pokemon? No. Wow. Okay, so I guess we scrap that poison theory real quick. I guess that's a good point. Like, do an autopsy. Oh, no poison detected. Well, get back to the drawing board. The investigation turned up more strange clues. Weeks later, police found a suitcase in the Adelaide railway station's coat room. Checked in the day before the body appeared. A suitcase. Interesting. Inside were ordinary clothes, shaving gear, and a spool of bright orange thread, the same kind used to repair a pocket in the dead man's pants. Still, nothing identified who he was. I feel like that's giving spy then. I can see how... Orange thread, though, like, why would you repair a pocket with orange thread? What color was his pants? I assume they weren't orange, because then he'd be known as the Orange Pants Man, probably. Not just something like the Somerton Man. So, like, why would you use orange thread? Is that just, like, all you could find? That's bizarre. That's a very weird... That feels like a red herring. Like, it could be something that people looked into, but then it's like... Does it take you any closer to knowing who this is? I don't know. Then came the most haunting clue. Hidden in a tiny fob pocket of his trousers was a slip of paper neatly rolled up. It read just 2 words in Persian. Tamam shud. Tamam shud. Translation, it is finished. Okay, I'm sorry I keep mentioning this, but I swear BuzzFeed Unsolved definitely covered this because yep, I do vaguely remember seeing that, and I feel like I went down this rabbit hole. So, wow, crazy. And so, like, was he a Persian spy? Like, why? It is finished, like it being his life, because you're right about that, I guess. That's wild. Is it a threat? Was it a threat to whoever was going to find him? I feel like that's someone communicating with someone on the inside. I don't know. Like, I feel like the police force, I wonder if when they released that clue, you know how like sometimes the police hold things close to their chest before, like, as a way to identify who did it. And so I wonder if they didn't release that clue until later, because it's like, oh, only the person who would have done this would have known that there was something in his pocket that read in Persian, it is finished. But it's like, if they did get that out to the media at some point, then it's like you're kind of letting whoever you want that message to get to know it is finished. It's done. We did the job. Or they were trying to communicate with someone in the police department that investigated the case. This goes all the way to the top. No, I'm kidding. But I wonder if this has to do with like that someone wanted someone finished, and to just like go through the trouble of making it known, like it is done. It's like, okay, who are you letting that know? Who are you letting know? Riddle me that. The scrap came from a book of poems, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. How did they back into that? Did it have part of the poem on there? That's bizarre. And in one of the wildest turns, police later tracked down the exact copy it came from. Well, that's good detective work. A rare edition left in a stranger's car nearby. Well, there's your guy right there. What do you... In a stranger's car? Is that stranger perchance the man that offed this guy? Like, what do you mean? In that book's back pages, they found a series of scribbled letters that looked like code. Like a code. No. What? Wait. This is back to my theory about them trying to communicate with people via code. This is crazy. The plot thickens. And here's the kicker. To this day, no one has cracked it. The code? That's weird. That's crazy. I know there's some like serial killers that have obviously the Zodiac killer, he used code that a lot of the times he would make mistakes, but for the most part there was some sort of logic to follow. But if no one's cracked it to this day, it looks like code, but like if there was no way to back into, if like, for example, if the letter changed every time it was used, like there's no logic to follow, then maybe it wasn't code. Maybe it was just like another red herring, perhaps. Who knows? So let's recap. No ID, no poison, a suitcase full of clues, and a death poem in his pocket. Well, yeah, a death note written on a book of the death note that came from a book of poems. Also in Persian, I assume? With the trail going nowhere, people did what they always do when faced with a mystery. They made theories. Ooh, yeah, let's get into the theories. So, who was the Somerton Man and what happened? 3 main theories dominate. Ooh, theory number 1, spycraft gone wrong. I like this theory. I like it. My first original theory is poison. Scrap that. We took it to the coroner. We did an autopsy. There's no poison. So my next theory is spy. Spycraft gone wrong. It was 1948. The height of spies. Is that when Spy versus Spy came out? I wonder. Or maybe that was earlier. I don't know. The start of the Cold War. Wow. Yeah, wait. This is like all like espionage and like Project Stargate and blah, blah, blah. Australia was a hub for intelligence work, and Adelaide had a big radar and weapons research facility nearby. Some believe the Somerton Man was a spy, poisoned with a substance so rare that it left no trace. Hate that. And also, if he was found, like, people saw him the night before, so maybe it wore up. Poison theory still back on the table now. Let's put poison back on there, because could have been some weird poison that just got out of his system by the time his body was found. By the time his body was found, they took a bunch of photos, then they had to like wrap the body up and then like take it to the coroner and then do the autopsy. Like, that's a long time. Or do they like take a blood sample like as soon as they find it? I don't know. I wonder. I mean, probably things have changed since the 40s, but I wonder what the procedure was back then. The mysterious code, a cipher. The exotic poetry book, a spy's calling card. Add in the lack of ID and it screams espionage. Yeah. Or like he found out something he shouldn't have. Or someone wanted him dead. The fact that that note says it is finished, that's giving spy. It's giving spy hardcore. Theory number 2, a lover's revenge. Another theory focuses on a local nurse named Jessica Thompson. Ooh, speaking of romance novels, maybe there's a romance novel about this. Local nurse named Jessica Thompson, who lived near where the body was found. That's all the clues that they have to be like, wait, they were probably involved. No, there's got to be more. She can't just like lived nearby. When police showed her the rubaiyat, wait, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't have the phonetic anymore. She allegedly turned pale, refused to talk, and insisted not to be connected publicly. Oh, yeah, that's sus. Okay. Some think the Somerton Man was a rejected lover, poisoned in a messy affair. Jessica's son, decades later, was rumored to share the same rare dental and ear features as the Somerton Man. Why was it rare? What was rare about it? Or like, I guess those were identifying features? Fueling speculation about secret family ties. Interesting. Lovers quarrel gone wrong. But I don't get the whole like it is finished thing. People don't go through that much effort, I feel like. Usually like lovers' crimes are crimes of passion, typically, right? I don't know. Let me know what you think. And theory number 3, the romantic, the outsider, the unknown. Others see him less as a spy or a victim of a lover's quarrel and more as a drifter or even someone who chose his own end. That's crazy. Wait, that's a crazy theory. So if he did all of this just to be like, look, woo, I'm so mysterious, and then it turns out like he planned it all himself, that's crazy. I kind of like it though. I mean, it's got a plot to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's good. The tamam shud, scrap, literally means finished. Yeah. Maybe it was his way of signing off. Oh, like instead of like, it is finished, I did what I had to do on this earth. I'm done. I don't know. Why? Where's all your ID? Why was there an orange thread? Why the book of poems? There's a lot. I feel like this is messy. It feels messy. And usually like a little piece of paper, unless he wanted to like set his own demise up to seem very like, ooh, mysterious. Like, who is this man? Unless it was that, it's like, I feel like usually people write, well, not all the time, obviously, but like just to write, it is finished. It doesn't feel like it's something that someone would write about themselves. That's just my theory. In this reading, the code wasn't espionage. It was just a jumble of letters, a private note to himself. Yeah. Or he was testing a pen. I don't know. No, because it seemed like a code, so it must have had some sort of, like, weird lettering of some kind or hieroglyphics of some sort or something to appear like a code. That's weird. Okay, so we have the it is finished, super, like, the note in his pocket that is just very cryptic, super cryptic note, it is finished. Then we have they found the poem book that from where the note was, I guess, taken from. And in that poem book, they found something that resembled a code written by the same person. Who knows? I wonder if they've, like, done handwriting analysis just to, like, figure out if it is the same person. But then, yeah, no ID, no anything else, really. He was, like, nicely dressed. This is bizarre. That's crazy. They should have grilled Jessica a little more. I don't know. What does Jessica know? Does she know anything? I don't know. Why didn't she want to get involved? Maybe she understood what it meant. She was like, ooh, maybe it was like, it is finished. You're next if you talk. I don't know. Seems a little threatening. Of course, there are also wilder theories. Yes, I mean, duh. There's gotta be, especially if it's still unsolved. He was an alien, a time traveler, or a man from a parallel world whose body didn't quite fit ours. Huh. But, like, his liver was filled with blood. His spleen was 3 times the size. Like, I don't know. I feel like he was offed somehow. He seemed like a target of something. Like, I feel like that can all happen as a result of, like, either poison or something. Some sort of, like, way to dispose of someone, let's say. Who wanted him gone? That's what I want to know. Because what good is a mystery without someone blaming aliens? Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's also been long enough with no clues as to what anything means, or who this man is, or where he came from, or what, nothing tying him to anything, that it's like, aliens are a last resort. You know, it's like, maybe, was he an alien? Was he abducted by aliens? Was it aliens sending us the message? It is finished. Did someone want him gone? I don't know. Now that we have DNA, I wonder if we could dig more into it. But I guess, like, do they even know what they're digging into if they don't even have an identification of any kind? It's bizarre. That's a bizarre case. This is crazy. I guess are all unknown murders or unsolved unsolved murders, rather, are they all phenomena? Not really. I feel like this one was just because of the weird amount of clues that don't really amount to anything, and then the fact that they weren't able to, like, look into it, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. In closing, for decades, the Somerton Man's identity stayed a blank. No missing persons matched. No family claimed him. His grave read only, The Unknown Man. Ooh. Was he, like, the only unknown man that they'd ever found? Because that's quite a title. To hold the one and only unknown man title? That's wild. But, man, no one ever called about a missing body or anything. But in 2022, thanks to advances in DNA, yes, scientists finally gave him a name. No way! Carl Charles Webb, a Melbourne electrical engineer who vanished in 1947. He wasn't a spy or an alien or a tragic love-struck poet, at least not officially. Ooh, whoa, that's crazy. They were able to finally identify him. That's wild. Carl Charles Webb. Did Carl's go by the name of Charles at some point, or he just happened to go by Charles? That seems so bizarre. He vanished a year earlier and then randomly showed up with, like, no clue. I feel like he was either a decoy or he was someone who used to send a note to someone else. This feels like mob activity. I don't know. Still, questions linger. How exactly did he die? Was it poison or natural condition overlooked? Why the code? Why the book of Persian poetry? Why was the note written Persian too? Like, what about, was he Persian? If he wasn't Persian, that's even weirder. That would make me think it was a Persian gang leader or something. I don't know. Mob boss? Persian mob boss? I don't know. And how did his life end alone on that beach, dressed in his best suit, with no one to notice he was gone? And the orange thread. What about that? Again, that could definitely be a red herring, but still, we must We add it to the list of things we have to go on. That's wild. Yeah, his best suit, you would think, like, I don't know. I feel like he was dressed to look pristine, but the fact that he went missing a year before, like, was he kidnapped? Was he used literally to, like, send a note? And then if so, have they ever heard of a postcard? Maybe just, like, send a postcard. You don't have to, like, abduct a man, kill him, dress him up, throw in random stuff to catch everybody off guard, or, like, to just random red herrings in there, and then just to what? Like, send a note? That's crazy. All before texting. Wow. Maybe the truth is simple. Maybe it's not. But as long as those questions remain, the Somerton Man lives on as one of the strangest, most haunting cold cases in modern history. Ooh, yeah. Okay, this is like what caused this death type of thing. It's very Dyatlov Pass in that regard. It's not a ghost. That was my initial thought. Maybe he was like a ghost that people like saw the Somerton Man somewhere. But I wonder if anyone has seen a ghost or a presence near where he was found. I don't know. This doesn't mention that, so that's speculation. He's a spy. No. Or he was used to send a message. I don't know. What do you think? I don't even know what to make of this. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how it's a phenomenon, but I guess it's just unexplained. There's just not enough for us to go off of. I feel like this just requires more deep diving. Because I'm like, what does this all mean? What does it mean? You know? Great episode. Thank you so much, Ruben. I appreciate it. Now we know about the Somerton Man. So if nothing else, you learned something new, and you can take it to your next dinner party and talk about it and be like, and like throw back theories. Let me know who you think he is. Okay? Like, most realistically, what do you believe? Who is the Somerton Man? Was he a spy? Was he used by a mob to send a message? Was he caught in a lover's quarrel, which to me, again, doesn't seem like all this, why go through all this rigmarole for what? Like, lover scorned? That doesn't, I don't know. But maybe, if that's your theory, let me know. Let me know. Comment it. Let me know. Quick reminder, we also have an Expedia affiliate link. So if you're itching to go to Australia or anywhere else, really, you can use it for anything. Our Expedia affiliate link is expedia.com/affiliates/phenomena/season 4. That's right, season 4, to book your next trip. So yeah, definitely bookmark that and use it if you are using Expedia for anything, because then it tells Expedia that we are good partners, and then we can like rise the ranks of affiliates. But not too high, because then we might end up with our bodies sloped over a seawall to send a message. I don't know. I don't want to piss off the Expedia mob bosses, you know. Pokepic for this week's Pokepic. Yay! Ruben, I'm so glad you included this. I kind of rushed Ruben with this script, so I'm so sorry, Ruben. And you did a fantastic job, per usual, so thank you. Thank you. Pokepic for this week's episode is Roserade, the bouquet Pokemon. The bouquet. Nice. Roserade. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Wait, I forgot it could be a dancer. I totally forgot the whole, like, wedge toes, the feet pics of it all. I totally forgot that he could have been, like, a dancer, or, like, why were his feet like that? That's weird. I like that. Okay, Pokedex entry. With the movements of a dancer, it strikes with whips that are densely lined with poison thorns. Ooh, we got poison. We got dancing. We got, I don't know, Roserade is she's kind of a boss. Like, people always underestimate Roserade because it's like, oh, she's grass type, whatever. But like, I'm pretty sure I've definitely been in fights with Roserade where she's like kicked a lot of my Pokemon's asses. So it's like, don't underestimate Roserade. Don't underestimate the Somerton Man. You never know. Why were his feet like that? I gotta know. Good Pokepic. I like that. I was gonna say Persian would be my Pokepic, just because of the whole Persian thing. Is it Persian? The, like, Meowth's, like, evolution. So, but either way, I like them both. I don't think we have enough information to even, like, fully, we can make cases for either one. So, but I do like Roserade, especially with the whole, like, dancing thing, because I totally forgot he might have been a dancer, or a drag queen, or an alien drag queen who dances. On top of commenting, we also have an email, phenomena.cases@gmail.com. So definitely feel free to send us an email if you would like to say hello or tell us about any of your personal phenomena stories, or if you happen to know a lot about, like if you've if you've deep dived into a phenomenon that you want us to cover, definitely let us know, because I'm always on the lookout for suggestions of like what else we should cover. So definitely feel free to email that us. You can also comment it, but definitely email if it's like a whole phenomena episode. At the end of every season, we do a phenomena episode, in which we read your personal phenomena stories. So if you have any experiences with any of these phenomena that we've covered, definitely send it to phenomena.cases@gmail.com. I would love to read it for the phenomena episode. I always reply. So definitely check out our email. We also have a Patreon, which is just Phenomena Podcast. So it's like patreon.com/Phenomenal Podcast. And you can show your support for the podcast. We have a free tier, a $2 tier, and a $5 tier. For the free tier, you still can see whenever I post the pokepic for every week and my favorite GIF, because I put GIFs on the screen for like the YouTube episode, not the audio episode, obviously. But I usually have a favorite GIF. And then we have a Discord link pinned at the top of our Patreon. So if you'd like to join our Discord, our super secret Discord, no, I'm kidding. It's great. We talk about who the pokepic is, and I would just love to like build that community as much as possible. So, and that one's free to join. So definitely, if nothing else, join our free Patreon and join our Discord. And then if you feel like you really love this podcast, we would be more than honored to have your donation if you'd like. So there you go. Can you write it off as like a philanthropy thing? No taxes, maybe? I don't know. New episodes come out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. And next time on Phenomena, we'll be talking about Wendigos and others. This is the reason we need a little bit more time with this script, is because it not only covers Wendigos. I think Wendigos is like a good like catch-all or like overall, but I think like Wendigos are one thing. And then there's like 2 or 3 other things that kind of like all fit in that same Wendigo-y realm, but aren't called Wendigos. So we'll talk about what they're called. I know this next week's episode is going to be very like big into Native American lore. So that's very fascinating, because I feel like that's really like when it comes to like weird creatures that like, are part of like the land, the Native American folklore has got to have a ton of stuff on those, like more than whatever American settlers would. So I'm really interested to learn kind of like if they've known about these for a super long time, if any of them had just started, definitely check out next week's episode and let us know if you'd known about the Somerton Man, because I don't remember that his name was Somerton Man, but I'm pretty sure I saw a BuzzFeed Unsolved episode on it. So, yeah. And remember, you can always explore the rabbit hole without falling all the way down and ending up slumped over a seawall with a random note in your pocket, and nobody knows who you are and what you did, and you went missing a year before, and then no one knows what happened. And so, yeah, don't do that. Don't fall all the way down the rabbit hole. Keep one foot in reality at all times. Talk to people with different opinions. Expand your worldview. And I'll see you next week. Bye.